What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Singing the Tea. I'm your host, Dustin, singer actor Lewis. You already know, sometimes I sing, sometimes I review all of the reality TV tea, but it's always going to be what you want, and it's always going to be what you need. I feel like I'm going to stop saying that after a while. It's a lot. But you know what? One thing I would give myself, y'all, I don't be fumbling over it. Now, I might fumble over some of this stuff I be telling y'all, but I got that down pat. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another review. Listen, we finna jump into the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part one. And baby, when I tell you it was amazing, it was everything. Tens. Baby, this episode was so good. We gonna jump into it. I'm excited. Let me calm down. Y'all know I get to sweating in a minute. Let me calm down. If you are new here, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell button so that you get all of the alerts when I drop another video. If you are returning, welcome back, family. Welcome back, cousins. I appreciate y'all so much. Don't forget to share it out there. We got to get this out there. We got to spread it out there. Get the people over here so they can get some of this singing the tea, baby. Now, what am I going to rate this reunion episode? 10. Did. It's a 10, baby. It was so good, y'all. Like, when I tell you, I had to message my friend. I said, Demetrius, let me tell you something. Listen, y'all, I was 1 minute in. I said, child, I'm here for this. I'm here for this. I'm gonna have to do an episode and I'm gonna have to bring him on, y'all, so we can do an episode. When I tell y'all it's gonna be a key if me and him are on him together. So y'all, listen, I cannot wait. But okay, let's jump into it. It was a 10. The way that this reunion opened with like the KarenHuger drama of it all, baby. Karen with that furry hat, no makeup on, looking disheveled. Baby, Karen looked a mess. Karen, you should be ashamed of yourself. Now, I ate you up in the video a long time ago. You lucky I ain't got my wig sitting here because I would throw it on in your honor. But Karen, you should be ashamed. Now, Karen, they edged you out, baby. They cleared you. Baby, they talking about some. I'm sorry, y'all remember Karen had to. Now, what they should have put on there was when Karen had said that she was Thomas Jefferson concubine. That's what they should have put on this good TV. I don't know if that's some copyright infringement or what Thomas Jefferson got going on. Listen, sir, don't come for my good Amazon things, please. But that's what y'all should have started this with. Because, baby, when I tell you that line there was good, baby, Karen was eating them people up. But then, she threw a little Andy Cohen. He coined her the grand dame. Andy said, baby, I don't want no parts in that video. Andy said, baby, that wasn't me. Y'all, when I tell you the way that they opened that was so good. It was so good. Baby, Karen wasn't there, but she was the gift that kept on giving this episode because it was so good. But Karen, you should be ashamed. You should be ashamed and a part of yourself. You right. The people, people look up to you. I'm not one. I think you're auntie and all of that. You cool. You the fun auntie that I want to go drink with. I don't drink and drive with you. I don't drink and ride with you. We drink it. We call her Uber girl. But you the fun auntie. I can go have a cute kiki. We can go out here and find us some blue eyes or something, allegedly, and we can have us a drink. That's the auntie that you are, Karen. But I don't look up to you, baby. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You got too much going on for me. No, absolutely not. But Karen, you right. On a serious note, you right. We don't need to do what you do because what you did was foolish. It was a fool and it was a mockery of the Grand Dame Kingdom. You should be ashamed. Now, Karen wasn't there, but in her little video, everybody's looking for Karen as we're getting ready. When the girls are showing up to the New York, and they're looking for Karen's dressing room. They can't find it. No one can find Karen's dressing room because they don't know that, but we know she's not there. So she's not there. So Kay goes to Wendy's dressing room and they're having a conversation. And Wendy's like, you know what? Let me call her. Let me call her up. She calls her. Karen doesn't answer, sends her the voicemail. So she's feeling some kind of way. We're going to get into that for sure. So then we see Ashley and Stacey having a conversation about it as well. And you know what? I feel like the ladies I will say, they did a good job this season on rallying behind Karen. They didn't give Karen, honestly, too much on that whole situation. They really, really, really did a good job of rallying behind her. And I know Wendy for sure feels played by Karen because of how Wendy really showed up and advocated for Karen. But we're going to talk about that too. So as everybody's getting dressed, Gizelle is the first one on to the set. And let me tell y'all, Gizelle looks amazing. If I have to give the best dress award, and this probably might sound a little shady, I'm going to give it to Gizelle, and here's why. I'm going to give it to Gizelle because I feel like this is a once in a lifetime thing. She might not ever get an award like this. So I'm going to give her the award for best dress because Giselle don't ever look good. She's up in face beat, always there. She don't need much. Here she don't need much. I even think she got somebody. We didn't see Kyle back there doing her hair, which I hope he did. I hope we got somebody else because she looked real good. No shade to Kyle, but if he been doing her hair for these years, I think we need to let somebody else, especially from season one. That was an awful mess. But Giselle looked amazing. She looked so good. Um, so I would give Giselle the award for the best dress, but my favorite was Wendy. Wendy's wig, baby, that hair was everything. She looked great. What she call her, Godiva goddess or Godiva, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Wendy looked good. Wendy looked amazing. No notes. No notes for Wendy. No notes for Giselle. Both of them look impeccable. Wendy's hair alone, golly, her hair was stunning. Um, so let's talk about the other ladies' looks. So, Kay's dress reminded me of Wendy's dress from the previous reunion, just in like a different color scheme, like with the puffy sleeves, like the necklace. It just kind of gave me that Wendy's look. It was a cute dress. I do feel like it was a little too tight in the bosom area. I think it could have just went out a little bit. It just seemed a little too tight there. And the necklace was a little too chunky, but overall she looked great. Ashley looked good as well. I think Ashley's wig could have used one less bundle, but she looked good. Um, Mia looked good. I like that hair. I thought it was a short haircut, which Mia would look really good with a short haircut. I like the front looked really pretty, but Mia looked great. She looked good. Stacy looked good. I like Stacy's dress too. One thing I did notice about Stacy, um, Stacy's wig didn't have no scalp. And Stacy, you on TV, you make too much money. You know, you work for QVC. They have wigs, and I know they have some wigs with the scalp, but they should have whoever parted it. I don't know if it was something, if they parted it too much, but it was just all hair in here. It wasn't a scalp, and it would have been nice to see a scalp. But other than that, you look great. You look great, Stacey. You really did. Stacey looked phenomenal. So overall, the looks were great. Everybody looked good. Everybody did a good job. It was just a couple of tweaks here and there for some of the girls. But overall, 10s for the crew. They did a good job. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and they talk about Karen because she is not there. The ladies don't know where she is, but Andy, lets them know, hey, y'all haven't spoken to her. Karen was found guilty of 7 out of the 8 charges, and she has checked herself into a private recovery center. And Giselle speaks to her, and she was like, she's glad that she checked herself in, but she does wish that she would have done it sooner, and she would have done it like as soon as that situation happened. And I agree. I think that, and Wendy touched on this too, when Wendy was saying, she finds it interesting that she went like at the time of sentencing or at the time of the reunion. I kind of get that. I think that Karen should have gone earlier, but you can't knock a hustle, right? Like I feel like if anybody was in that situation to help you reduce your sentence, you would do what you got to do. So I peep Karen's game. Now, um, one thing I will say, Stacey was saying, oh y'all, we need to be supportive. We need to support her. The women have been supporting her. They are supportive for the most part. A lot of them have been. I don't think Wendy was saying like, I wonder if she's doing this. I think Wendy was just having an honest conversation that we would have with our friends if a friend was going through that. And this is not their first time going through that situation. On top of, it seems a little performative at this point because you went through this whole season like, oh, there's no problem. Y'all see I'm not guilty of this, blah, 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 blah. And then you say what you are guilty of in your video. So Stacey, you were doing too much. Calm down, girl. You were just doing too much with that. They giving the girl grace. They giving Karen grace. We love Karen, but please. Um. So yeah. So the ladies, you know, they have a conversation because we get a message from Karen, right? We get a message from Karen, and in Karen's message, she thanks a lot of the people. Before we get there, Ashley pulls out a picture of Karen. That was funny. And it was all white too. It was really funny. That was like perfect. I wonder why Ashley just didn't let Andy hold it and put it like to the side. But she wanted it on the couch. It was like she said, it was her picture. Girl, I guess. Um, but I think when it comes to Wendy, we'll talk about that after we talk about Karen's message. So Karen gives a message to the ladies, right? She gives a message to the ladies, and she is going through and she's thanking all of these people. So she thanks Gizelle, which was really heartfelt. Honestly, her thanks to the ladies was really great. So she thanks Gizelle, she thanks Kay, she thanks Jazzy, she thanked Candace, which we miss Candace, and she thanked Andy. You know, Gizelle gets emotional, and I will say it was really, really touching. But on the flip side of that, I can't help but feel a way about Wendy because I was like, "What? You didn't thank Wendy?" Like, even if you and Wendy are in the best place in that very moment, I think Karen, you owed it to her to give her a thank you because she was riding for you this season, and I think that Wendy really showed up for you. And Wendy was like, "Listen, we just gotta wait for it to just come out. We don't know what happened. We're not gonna accuse her of anything." Wendy was really riding for you. Wendy has been riding for you for a minute, Karen. So Karen, that was a choice. So I think it was a little disrespectful for you to do that. Karen said, you know, that she's checking herself in for the antidepressants and the drinking. It's really sad. My heart goes out to Karen. I hate that she's going through that, but my heart also goes out to Wendy. And I'm with Wendy when she says that person is not my friend. And I feel it because if you were her friend, you would have thanked her because she did so much for you this season. And for you to do that, Karen, that was a choice. And I'm with her. Like when Stacey and Wendy's feeling conflicted, right? Because Stacey said that Karen was talking about her. And let's be real, we know she was, right? We know that she was talking about her. I feel like Karen's been talking about Wendy from jump. But Karen, you wrong for that. Karen, you flat out you wrong. And when you get out, or I don't know if you're going, whatever you do, you owe that lady an apology. And I feel like your apology needs to be as loud as the offense. So don't try to give her a little private text message on the side saying you apologize. No, no, no. You need to get back on a public platform and that scared me. You need to get back on a public platform and make your apology just as loud as your offense. Because that offense that you did on this reunion to not say, you know, thank you to her is messed up. Because that girl was defending you and riding for you this whole season, going against everybody, checking everybody. For you, Karen, Karen, you wrong. You wrong. You wrong. Now, when she said when she coming back, she's coming back as Karen and not the Grand Dame. Now, I hope you bring back some of the Grand Dame with you because we like the Grand Dame. We love the delusions of grandeur. We love it. And Giselle made an interesting point here. And she was saying, you know, the delusions of grandeur, you know, the Grand Dame of it all. It's funny, but in this case, it wasn't, right? Because Karen just went too far with it. I wish that Karen would have just taken a piece of humble pie and just would have really just sat down, sat with herself and sat with her thoughts to be like, you know what? Let me just eat humble pie here and let me just kind of reconvene and figure out how we're gonna move forward. Um, so they discussed, you know, Karen's DUI video. We was sitting on Karen for a minute. Karen wasn't even there, but like I said, she was there in spirit, baby, because we definitely had a conversation. A lot of people feel betrayed, like fans of the show, like everybody feels really betrayed by Karen. And I think when those videos came out, I think everyone's initial thought was like, Karen, did you just not remember any of this? Because those videos were very telling and it was really, really, really sad. I'm once again, I think we've talked about it already. Just shocked that Karen even let it go to court. I'm shocked that she just didn't try to like figure out a way that she could do some time and just go on about her day. You know, Mia tells everybody, you know, she's been trying to tell them for a minute, but Mia, you just lie about so much that we couldn't trust anything that you had, even if it is a true child. You the child that cried wolf. I feel like the child name must have been Mia, and you must be reincarnated as either the wolf or the child. You one of the, probably both. You're probably the offspring of that book or something because child, you just be lying for no reason, and it don't make no sense. And we're gonna get into that at the end of this review here. So as we get off of Karen, we go into Wendy's package, and it was really, really nice to see Wendy and Gizelle's friendship, to see, you know, Wendy go to the White House, and then the Wendy and Karen drama of it all. Really, really good to see Wendy and Gizelle open up to each other and allow each other to be friends because they honestly had no reason to not be. They didn't. They're sorors. They have no reason to not be friends. I don't really know. Honestly, don't really know where their riff really, really came. Um, you know what? I kind of do. I feel like it's because Wendy is so self-absorbed. I feel like that's where it kind of came from, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm good to see that they opened up to each other, and Andy is asking her about how happy Eddie is doing. How is that business going? She said it's thriving in abundance. They doing great. And then Giselle out of the blue, clear blue skies, y'all. It was, listen, clear, nothing. And then here comes just a big cloud of Giselle, baby. Giselle had it going on. Giselle said, because Stacey was saying, I enjoy Happy Eddie. I had a good time. You had it. And Giselle was like, yeah. Stacey, don't you got you some Happy Eddie, a Happy Stacey going on? And Kay was like, you should call it Spacey Stacey. Apparently, child, this is what Giselle said. Giselle said allegedly Stacey went and had meetings with people, letting the people know she's a celebrity and that, she trying to get her own like little Happy Eddie type of thing. And Wendy's letting her know, like, well, girl, I hope not. I hope, this is not true. Stacey saying she don't know where that came from. Baby, Stacey said, ain't none of that happened. She ain't met with nobody. She don't understand what's going on with Giselle. Giselle said, baby, when next season, when y'all see a Happy Stacey going home or Spacey Stacey, baby, she said, just know I told you first. But Stacey, I'm going to tell you, if you do got something going on, girl, go and use that Spacey Stacey. That's nice. You need to use that, girl. Go ahead and patent that so you can use it for something. Even if it's like a, what are them things called? The little things that put the galaxy on the ceiling, Spacey Stacey. Or you could use a white noise machine, Spacey Stacey, help people go to sleep. Or Spacey Stacey, like steamers, to help people steam their carpet. Something like that. Or Spacey Stacey. It can be storage containers. Spacey Stacey. They got them units that you can go, them storage units you can rent. Spacey Stacey. Stacey, if y'all see Stacey use any of this stuff, y'all, it came here first. We're gonna have all the Amazon things, baby, because Stacey, you better not use none of the stuff I just gave you, girl. Let me find out you got some Spacey Stacey storage units out there. Or some Spacey Stacey under the bed cabinets. Stacey, call me, girl. Call me, girl. We're gonna have it going on, baby. We're gonna have all your stuff going on. So Andy was messy. His ass was messy this reunion because he was like, because Wendy was like, Stacey, you need to run that by me before you do something like that. Andy was like, well, Wendy, did you run it by Karen when you got them candles? Wendy said, hold on. Wendy had to dip back and she had to let him know, baby, I was the candle starter. She said, I was the wax that set all of this out. Baby, Andy was like, oh, my bad. Andy was like, I thought that was Karen. It be so much going on, you don't know who do what. Or who and do who. It just, who. It just be a lot of stuff going on. We don't know. Now, we talk about, after all of that, we talk about Wendy having a conversation with her kids and the inheritance with the master's degree. Like she said, hey, for you to get your inheritance, you have to have a master's degree. I thought it was cool. And they were like, hey, what did you mean by that? Like, are you not going to leave your kids anything, if they don't get a master's degree? And I think that I always knew Wendy would take care of her children, right? She's not going to just not have this money sitting here and not provide it to her children. And she breaks it down, and I think it's very, very smart. She was like, listen, we have incentives. Like, yes, they have an inheritance, but there are bonuses to it. Like, hey, you can get X amount more if you do X, Y, and Z. So she has one of her daughter joins her sorority. If they get master's degrees, if they do certain things in life. And I think that that's really cool to help them strive to do more, become more, do better in life. I think that's amazing. So a lot of people, make sure y'all, well, I can't tell you how to raise your children, but if I have children, if that day comes, I would absolutely do that. I will leave my children all of my Amazon things. To get this picture here, gotta have a master's degree, baby. Master's degree in order to get that good picture. That's what you're gonna have to have. Now, Andy is asking Wendy if she regrets inviting Karen to the White House, and she said absolutely. And we're just gonna leave it there. We're just gonna leave it there. So, they talk about Stacey bringing the bone back to Wendy with the whole Karen drama, and Wendy, she says that she believed it. She believed what Stacey was saying to her, and I have to agree with Kay in this scenario when Kay was like, "Hey, Stacey, I feel you. I get what you did. However, it just wasn't cool for you to bring it up when you and Karen weren't cool. Like, why not bring it up from the jump?" So I do feel her on that. Like, it just was real convenient when you and Karen were on outs. Like, now you want to go and you want to just want to spray her name. So I do think that was a little messed up. But I get where Stacey's coming from too. Stacey was like, I have no more loyalty to you. But Wendy also says, like, listen, Stacey, I get it. I believe you. She did it with me. She told me some tea about you. And, she airs that out. So that was very, very interesting. And Wendy was like, she told me to be careful. Karen told me to be careful of you, Stacey, because, she's a real smart girl. You be careful with this woman. And Giselle wasn't playing. Giselle was not playing. Giselle said, is she? Is she smart? Is she educated? Child, I don't know what Giselle and Stacey got going on, but baby, I'm here for it. I'm here for every ounce. Baby, Giselle is hazing the girls, and I'm here for it. I'm kind of here for it, y'all. I know. I'm kind of here for it. We get them glimpses of the old school Giselle, and I kind of like it. I kind of like it. So it was great. So they asked Andy asked the ladies like, "Hey, do you feel like there's some truth to that? Do you feel like Wendy is self-absorbed?" They're like, "Hell yeah, Wendy's self-absorbed. I can tell you Wendy's self-absorbed." And I love Wendy's explanation of it. Like, who better to root for me than me? I get where Wendy's coming from, right? Wendy be feeling herself. I get the shit. I be feeling myself. Well, I mean, because I said I was gonna work on my cousin, y'all, in 2025. Um, but I feel it on that, right? Like I'm a ride for me. Who better to ride for me than me? I feel it. I'm gonna pop my own. So I feel her on that. So apparently it's some tea that needs to be spilled with Mia's birthday and child. We get into it towards the end of this thing. So Jazzy walks out. Jazzy looks great. Beautiful slick back ponytail. Looks good. Her dress was fine. She looked great. She looked great. Jazzy's a effortlessly beautiful woman. All of them are. So she doesn't, honestly, none of them really need much. Honestly, they're stunning. She's shocked to see Karen is not there. So, Andy was asking her about her wedding. And she said it's a summer wedding. She has the invitation. I don't. Was it? Did somebody bring up her? I know they talked about her not maybe inviting certain people, but her bringing the invitation just seemed a little weird to me. I don't know. I just didn't know where that stemmed from. It was very interesting, but cool. She had an invitation. It was beautiful. They looked great. The invitation looked really, really, really good. So that was really, really dope. Hold on, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm back. I'm back. I had to take care of something, baby, because if you playing me by my money, you're gonna give me my money. Anyway, so I think I left off with Jazzy talking about her relationship. I think we'll talk about the invitations, but child. So they ask Jazzy about her relationship, Andy does, and just kind of the timeline of it. And I'ma say this. And no, this is what was shady. When they was like, "Hey Mia, you were a side chick at one point. What can you tell us about this?" But Jazzy quickly jumps in and she was just saying, "Hey, I was not a side chick. He was not with her when we first got together. Yes, she was pregnant. Yes, they had kids, but they weren't together. Like even she says they weren't together." Jazzy, I'm gonna say this. If you like it, I love it. I think that the timeline is a little iffy. I will say this. Jazzy, if you and him good, if y'all cool, girl, just rock with it. Like, just rock with it. Just stand up in and be like, you know what? He was with her. He ain't tell me that. Me and him, when we met, we fell hard. We've been rocking ever since. Unfortunately, I didn't know he lied to me, but unfortunately, I love him. I mean, I didn't even unfortunately, I just love the man. So it is what it is, and ain't nothing gonna change. Just stand up in it, girl. But people gonna believe you, they're not gonna believe you. So I'll just say it is what it is. Just do you. Especially at this point, y'all get married, girl. Please, just make sure you and that lady have a good relationship though, because at the end of the day, if you and him are going to get married, those children are going to be around you. So please make sure you have a good relationship with the mom too, just to make sure that y'all are good. So that's my hope for y'all. So they talk about the GNA foolishness and Andy talks, and he asked Ashley, he said, "I ask you every season, what's your status on your divorce?" And she says, that she has filed, which actually I think she is divorced now, like in real time. I think she's fully divorced. So that's a huge thing. So shout out to Ashley for being divorced and finally taking those steps. Ashley states that, she opted out of spouse support, but she did opt into child support for her kids. And Stacey did the opposite. She opted out of the child support, but she opted into the spousal support. Um, so then he asked Mia, "Hey, what's the status of your divorce?" She's like, "We're in the final stages." And I just see Wendy over there, child, just lying, just lying. And the ladies start calling her out. Jazz is like, "Girl, so are you getting a divorce? Like, are you divorced? What's the status?" And she's like, "Yes, yes, I am. I'm getting divorced. Me and Gordon, we're co-parenting." Please, girl, please. You and that man are still married, and it's fine, Mia. Just say that you are still married to this man. If you want to still be with him, if you need that security, girl, just say it. It's so weird to me because sometimes Mia is very honest, and then sometimes Mia is not. Like, she's very honest, she's very forthcoming with information, and then sometimes she's forthcoming with information that doesn't matter, and then she tries to lie about it. And that's what ends up catching her. Like she tells so much, and then she tries a lot to cover up certain things, but she doesn't remember what she told. She just needs to be honest and just forthcoming about everything, but forthright about it. So they talk about G&A and like where it stands, as the fashions, and I would just say they pulled a She by Sheree, baby. They had to quickly pivot. Ashley said that she didn't know what she would be at financially. So Giselle, what were you gonna be at? What's going on with you financially? What's the team? Y'all didn't have any investors either. It's very interesting because y'all really didn't they do a fashion show? I'm shocked that they didn't have any investors, and it looks like because they were doing an athletic line as well, so the overhead will be kind of low because you can buy that in bulk, right? And then you can resell it at a higher price. It's not like you have to have like huge market space. I don't know. They didn't really sit on that too long, so we don't really know. But it was a very interesting pivot when it comes to that. So apparently, G&A now, their focus is not to make money, it's focused to help the community. So that's what they're doing. It's lifestyle, health and wellness. That's what their focus is. They're focused on the community and not making money. Child, and I'm Michael Jackson. Lying. Baby, absolutely not. They lying. It is what it is, but whatever. So they bring up, and it's like, you know what? Y'all had the G&A event. Giselle, you kicked these girls out. What's tea? What's going on? So Giselle, they talk about her apologizing, which is really, really good to see Giselle having, that turn. I'm proud of Giselle for apologizing when she is wrong. I will give her that. Andy's like, "Oh, are you the new grand dame?" Giselle was like, baby. When you get that type of stuff start happening, calamities start happening in the world. Absolutely not." She said, "Nah, baby. Karen can keep that. When she come back from wherever she at her retreat, she can pick up where she left off on the grand dominance." Giselle ain't want no parts, y'all. We finally get to this Miami Mia birthday situation because I didn't know what it was, and it was just like, what's happening here? What's going on with this? They're like, what's going on? They're like, we're gonna talk about Miami, and Wendy's like, yeah, we're gonna talk about Miami. Baby, Wendy, you didn't even. We're gonna talk about that. Wendy she was doing the Lord's work, baby. She was doing the Lord's work. Between Wendy and Giselle, they were activated this reunion, and I was here for every ounce. So Jazzy says Mia sent her and Stacy an invite to Miami to spend time with her for her birthday. Now, they say they landed, baby, and Mia was mute. Didn't hear nothing from Mia. Stacy was reaching out to her, and Stacy just didn't get any messages from Mia. So Mia said that she reached out to Stacy, and she was like, "No, Stacy, I reached out to you." And Stacy's like, "No, ma'am, no, ma'am, you didn't reach out to me. You sent me a text message, but if you invited me and you didn't make sure that you came to see me or make sure I was included in your event, you should have picked up the phone." And I'm with her on that. Mia, that deserved a phone call. So Stacey was like, she ain't reach out to me. She ain't send me no text message. Stacey said, you know what? Hold on, baby. I got receipts. Stacey, go ahead and bring that lady back for next season. One, we need to make sure we get Spacey Stacey, and I need to get my cut. Give her the Spacey Stacey, and baby, she came through with the receipts. I don't know who trained her. She must have went through Karen, the Grand Dame school before she went to where she needed to go because Stacey was ready for this reunion, baby. And I know that's right. Stacey was doing her big one. Baby, Stacey said, here go the receipts. Here go the receipts. Baby, he got to reading the receipts out, and then, Mia got to talking about her. Mia got to talking about her situation. She was like, they didn't reach out to me. They reached out to my POC. Baby, when she said POC and Stacey and Jackson looked at each other, girl, Stacey said, baby, what's a POC? The fact that Stacey did not know what a POC was, see, that's why Giselle says you wasn't an educated woman, because you didn't know what POC was. Now, I'm just over here laughing because I was like, oh, they probably thought she meant person of color, which that's not what she meant. It's point of contact for her party, which actually is just been the party planner. That's what she should have said instead of point of contact. But when I tell you that was good to me, but she still wasn't having it with Mia, baby. Stacey pulled out the receipts, and Mia knew she was lying. She knew she was lying. Andy got the reading off the messages, and then Mia was like, well, yeah, I knew that they were there. Mia, you just said that you didn't. And that's where it comes off like, Mia, you lie, and it's as if your lies cannot be proven. You should have just came into it owning it, and you were trying to apologize, but the girls was like, no, it's too late, mama. It's too late. So Stacey even said Stacey and Jazzy showed up to her dinner. No one is there. She's an hour late. So they left. I'm with them. I'm not sitting up here waiting for you. You not responding back to me. You an hour late. And you haven't even responded? Girl, I'm out of here. Absolutely not. But they ain't want the apology. Now this is where Wendy clocks back in, baby. Wendy clocks back in. So Wendy said, you know what? That ain't even really the issue. We need to talk about the bigger issue here. They were the only two that got invites. Did anybody else say get an invite? Now, Wendy, girl, thank you. Thank you, girl, for not taking your foot off of Mia neck. You wasn't taking your foot off of their necks. This, whoo, y'all, Wendy, baby, give her the center flute. Wendy is coming for that center flute, baby, and I think she deserves it. I think she deserves it. Bring her back next season. Bring her back for sure. Wendy was doing the work. So nobody else got an invite. And Mia just, I mean, Wendy's sitting up here letting her know, like, if you truly want to have the friendships with all of us, why not invite all of us? And Mia is saying that she's wrong, and then she starts crying. And that's what Wendy, again, listen, you do this, girl. Once you have an issue and your back is against the wall, you want to start having these tears. And it's not genuine, and we don't believe you. Baby, it was good. It was good, baby. That was great. So Jazzy leaves. So they go backstage. They had a little break, right? Mia tries to go in there and tries to talk to Stacy, tries to talk to Jazzy. And they just let her know, listen, we ain't really here to receive a girl. It seems real performative. And I'm with them. I feel them on that. And it ends with, Mia saying, well, I'm leaving. I'm going to leave. And she just starts sobbing when she gets to her room, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. This reunion was so good. Fashions, 10. Mess, 10. Drama, 10. Thomas Jefferson concubine, 1,000, baby. She wasn't even here, but she gets it all. She gets it all, baby. Wendy doing the Lord's work. 10, 10, 10, baby. It was great, y'all. This was such a good reunion. Oh, when I tell you between Married to Medicine, Real Housewives of Potomac, and Beverly Hills, Bravo got it going on. Bravo got it going on. Sprinkle a little traders on up in there, too. They got it going on. TV is real good right now, baby. So make sure you're watching. So, y'all, that is where we are going to end this review. I'm so ready to see the part 2 of this reunion because I think we're going to get even more drama, more tea, more information is going to be spilt on the Mia situation. Stacey going to have some stuff that she probably going to have to answer to, too. So, I'm really excited. But don't forget, if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell button so that you get all of the alerts when I drop new content. Comment, share, hit the like notifications, hit all of that. Share it with people, y'all, so that we can grow our community here. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a good one, y'all.